What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about the idea of Xbox versus PlayStation, because the console wars have been going on for almost 2 decades. The clash between PlayStation and Xbox has been going since the early 2000s, all the way up to today. Now we have the PlayStation 5 grappling against the Xbox Series X, and it's been fascinating to watch the different tactics of Sony versus Microsoft. PlayStation is putting out some incredible exclusives. Stuff like God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man and Returnal are not just selling copies of the games themselves, they're provably selling systems. Whereas Xbox, they've definitely found themselves in a weird spot. They're just not able to sell Xboxes, and now, according to a huge leak, it sounds like they've just given up. Everything that's actually coming to Xbox, including Starfield, Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, everything that's going to Xbox is also going to come to the PlayStation. The Xbox brand is pretty much dead, and it's been confirmed by Phil Spencer himself, the head of Xbox. But let's take a look at what he said. Hi, I'm DreamcastGuy. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Real quick, serious note. Unfortunately, a couple weeks back, obviously, my mother very suddenly died. Now my father has stage 4 cancer that he's battling against. Kind of popped up. So I like making YouTube videos more than anything else. That's like my favorite thing to do in the entire world. So there's still going to be content, but if there is occasionally a news story that I miss or a review that's late, I'm sure you guys will be understanding. But obviously, family's dealing with a lot. But okay, so sorry. Try not to tear myself up. So, video games. Over the course of the last 24 hours, ever since this news story broke, most of the Xbox YouTubers have been turning against each other. People have been absolutely getting feral. People are mad. I've actually seen Xbox YouTubers quitting. I've seen people saying that Microsoft is an evil company, and it's because of the fact that the games that they have chosen to believe in, the games that they're the most excited about, that they are the most passionate about, are now just losing any sort of brand uniqueness. Starfield, sounds like Blade may come to the PlayStation 5. Even Indiana Jones, which is probably their biggest project right now, Hellblade 2, everything is coming to the PlayStation 5. And it sounds like, according to the leaks themselves, even people inside of Xbox are not super pleased about this. And I think that makes sense. People are passionate about, like, hey, I'm an Xbox employee. I'm making the best Xbox games. Oh, now I also have to make it on the PlayStation 5. People are also just freaking out because this does feel like a lie. I mean, some of the biggest content creators like ClyoBryle, I've obviously quoted this guy in hundreds of videos. He is the guy that I feel like is the best at championing the good qualities of Xbox. And he's basically saying, hey, it's gone. There is no longer any trust and credibility to the brand of Xbox, so I've just decided that I'm going to step back and retire the ClyoBryle persona. I don't want to talk about Xbox games anymore. This is wild, because I think it's showing the fact that right now, even if you do enjoy Xbox games, even if you love Halo or you're obsessed with the idea of the next Gears of War, these games aren't Xbox games. They're just Xbox Game Studio games. You can play them anywhere, from your cell phone to your PlayStation to maybe even your Nintendo Switch. Well, here it is. This is why people are currently freaking out about it, because this seemingly just got confirmed. The leaks happened yesterday at 4 p.m., so exactly 24 hours ago from when I recorded this video. I did an initial take when it first came out, but it's bizarre. This is Phil Spencer. This is the head of Xbox saying this. We're listening and we hear you. We're planning a business update for next week where we look forward to sharing more details about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned. Okay, so that sounds 100% like he's confirming the leaks. If the leaks weren't true, Xbox is pretty good about dispelling rumors. They'll usually just come out and say, hey, that's real, that's fake, this is correct, that's half right. He is just saying, we're going to talk about the future of Xbox. It sounds like Xbox is just becoming a third-party studio like Sega is, but they also will have their own box. Right now, Phil Spencer is trending worldwide. All the replies, as you can see, are saying, hey, this is the worst thing for gaming. Overall, I'm a PlayStation fanboy. Competition is good. When we all compete, we all win. Bringing Xbox to be multi-platform will devalue the platform. Please don't. Literally every single one. People being like, hey, I can't wait to buy Xbox games on PlayStation. Man. Yeah, a lot of people basically saying that the next week is going to be very, very toxic because now Xbox people are just going to be ripping each other's throats out for an entire week. It's just wild to see this actually take place because of the statements by Phil Spencer. He has gone on record himself as the head of Xbox talking about how they're excited to make sure that games run best on Xbox and the power of Xbox games. He's even said how great games like Redfall were going to be, even though that turned out to be a wet turd. Like, it's weird that they are just straight up giving up on the idea of the walled garden approach of, hey, come to Xbox to play Xbox games. I mean, now they're just saying, hey, it doesn't matter about our ecosystem or our controller. Play it anywhere as long as we get our cash. Man, God, I hope the rumors are true. The potential decision is disappointing from my perspective as a user. I appreciate everyone playing, but the way it's being announced and the transition doesn't seem right. Hopefully things will be clarified. A lot of people are just straight up saying, man, those Xbox numbers must have been horrendous. The fact that they're tapping out, like, something people have been pointing out is how bizarre it is to watch all the freaking Xbox fans completely ripping each other to bits. And I do think part of it is the idea of all the other leaks going around. There's talks about the fact that we're going to get a PlayStation 5 Pro, maybe at some point late this year. What happens when games like Starfield come out on the PlayStation 5 Pro? Consider that. What if an Xbox exclusive like Starfield ends up running better on the PlayStation? What does that actually mean for Xbox? Why would anybody ever buy an Xbox if every game is going to look better, play better, be better on PlayStation? It's just bizarre to think about. Now, there's one last tweet I wanted to look at, which again is by Ryan McCaffrey. This guy, one of the biggest Xbox components. He's a guy who's run one of the biggest Xbox podcasts of all time. He is, a lifelong, diehard Xbox ecosystem fanatic. Obviously, he has raised some fair complaints when it's necessary, but he's definitely Team Green. And I don't mean that as an insult. He's a guy who loves the Xbox the way I love the PlayStation, the way that people love the Nintendo Switch. And he said this: I respect the hell out of Phil, but constructive criticism time. Their messaging is always reactive rather than proactive. Their brand is in a constant defensive state. It's been this way since 2013. It makes them look weak. Sony and Nintendo aren't like this. And I gotta agree. Phil Spencer is in a weird spot where constantly it feels like Xbox is trying to be like, oh, we can do that too. Oh, we're responding to the rumors. Oh, we're trying to adapt to this evolving industry. We need to make these acquisitions to keep up with the big games that PlayStation is putting out. Sony and Nintendo are focused on their homework. They're making games. They're advertising. They're doing their state of plays. They're doing their Nintendo Directs. They're pounding their chest and taking their victory laps accordingly, whereas Xbox just keeps taking the fattest L's. Last year, I made a video called Xbox is Giving Up on Xbox, where I had a thought. At the time, I just had a feeling that this was coming, and at the time, people got pretty pissed. I think I got a lot of fair criticism. A lot of people just weren't happy with my speculations of it, but it's bizarre that it turned out I was correct. Even I am surprised that I was correct, because really I thought there's no way that Xbox is going to pivot away from Xbox, but here we are. It's actually happening. Personally, there are some great Xbox exclusives that I love. I've got an Xbox Series X, in fact, right here. Look at this. It's my Xbox Series X. You're not going to be happy about it, but I was using it to prop a door open right here. But hey, look, I do own an Xbox Series X. I'm going to buy Xbox Series X games on PlayStation 5. I'll play Hellblade twice. I'll play it on Game Pass, and if I love it, I'll buy it again so I can platinum it on my PlayStation. I play stuff on PC all the time. That's Xbox games on Game Pass. But it's weird to think this is the end of Xbox. I don't think there's any chance of a next generation, no mid-gen refresh, or anything like that. This is the end of Xbox. And I do think that in the long run, this is bad for PlayStation. Phil Spencer has been really good about lighting that fire under Sony's ass. I do think that Sony, they're a brand that gets complacent. When they get too far ahead, they kind of just sit on their hands. Xbox has done a great job of saying, hey, try harder, PlayStation. And without that, I mean, the idea of $100 PlayStation games, $1,000 console, that doesn't seem impossible. If there's only one next-gen system, they can be as toxic as they want to be. But I guess I'm getting worried about stuff. I'm getting worried about step 25, and we're on step 2. But what do you guys think about all this? Are you excited for the future of Xbox and the future of PlayStation? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and keep dreaming. Oh boy. Video games, man. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.